Wanting to record. Okay, perfect. Welcome, everyone. I'm just going to give it a couple minutes for people to join me here. And I'm going to invite a couple of people. This is the first time I'm actually doing this with Zoom streaming. So I've got multiple cameras going here. I've got Instagram, I've got Facebook going, and I'm on Zoom. So you're going to have to bear with me as I get used to doing these things at the same time. So I'm just going to allow some more people to come in here. And if you are here and you're with me, just say hello and let me know. I'm trying to see if I can watch the comments as they're coming in. Oh, just realized I'm not streaming on Instagram. So, all right. Hello, Instagram. Welcome. Just giving it a moment for people to populate here in both areas. So today's stream, say hello if you are joining in, make sure that you can hear me. Hello. We've got people coming in here on Instagram. Today's live stream, the messages that wanted to come through were very potent for me this morning. I actually sat in my morning routine today, and I was channeling through my I Am Self, and she was very clear that something had to be shared publicly today. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of patterns happening in people's businesses with my clients, with colleagues, with friends, even with myself. And I'm certain that if I'm going through this and I'm seeing other people going through this, then probably other people are experiencing this in their lives or businesses as well. So what the topic is for today is, if you have been noticing that it's been a little difficult to manifest or actualize or achieve your dreams and goals in this particular season that we're in, there's a reason why it's been a little more difficult. There's a reason why it's been a little slow. And that's what I want to talk about, because we are very linear beings. We believe that if we do A and B, we're going to get the outcome, which is C. But where we are in our consciousness right now, collectively and individually, and I'm specifically speaking to the people that I love and support in this, and those are conscious business owners, they're entrepreneurs who are on a path of spiritual mastery and leading and living from a higher consciousness. These are individuals who are in service to humanity and who are on their own, path of personal development, spiritual development, as they're growing and scaling their businesses, as they are here to become more visible and impactful in the world. And my specialty is helping those individuals do the deep inner and energetic work so that they can get the outer results. And so I'm doing both the inner, the energetic, and then the business work with my clients, so that everything that they're creating and focusing on is in pristine alignment, not only with what their mind wants or what they've envisioned for themselves, but what their soul wants from them in this particular iteration and chapter of their lives, so that they're not just spinning their wheels in frustration because things aren't working. And there's a variety of reasons why things may not work, or there's a lack of fulfillment within this business owner's journey. So I want to dive in, but first I want to share something that kind of also inspired this video today and for me going live. Yesterday, I was on a really wonderful client call with one of my clients. And this powerful statement came through. And actually, I have a few notes because I didn't want to miss out on any of these points that I'm going to share today. And what came through me in this session, and both my client and I agreed that this is going to be a really potent thing to share online, is you are not here to operate at the pace of your mind. You are here to operate at the pace of your soul. And when you allow those words to reverberate through your whole being, this very much aligns with our topic today of why things might be a little slow for you to manifest and achieve your goals right now. So if you are tuning in right now and you are experiencing a season where it feels like you're putting in the work, where it feels like you're doing the strategy, you're implementing, you're doing your meditations and your prayers, and you're putting in the effort to actualize the things that are most important to you right now, I want you to, in the comments as you're watching this live or on a replay, type the word yes. Yes, that is what I'm experiencing right now. That is what's been going on. It feels like I'm moving through mud. It feels like there's obstacles. It feels like it's crickets. It feels like the things that I'm doing are not warranting the efforts received. So I'm putting out all this effort, but the effort that I'm putting into it, that I'm giving to my business, to anything else really at this point that you are trying to work toward or achieve in your goals, but it's feeling like you're working against the flow right now. Things are just not moving. Say yes below, because you're in the right place. Okay. So as you think about that, I want to start to talk about why this is happening. Now, we're in a really interesting time right now, astrologically. I'm not an astrologer, but I do know that we are moving through some major conjunctions and transits. And honestly, when are we not these days? And we're in a pivotal time as humanity continues to spiritually awaken. Our consciousness is expanding. What's happening on the planet is happening at an accelerated rate. There's things collapsing before our eyes. There are, institutions and corporations, and the things that we're seeing in our external world, it's dramatically shifting. And so we can't think that the shifts and the changes that are happening outside of us aren't actually happening within us. And so as above, so below, right? And what's happening right now is a few different things that I'm noticing pattern-wise for a lot of people in this particular season we're in. And the first one, and there's three of them that I'm really seeing happening very potently for people. And these are the reasons why things may be slower for you. This may be the reason why you're not able to manifest as quickly as you're used to. It may also be why you're taking all this action and you're not quite seeing the results. And one of those things is actually really important, and it's been coming up a lot since 2023 began, and that is we can no longer compromise our bodies at the expense of our business growth, making money, achieving, manifesting. So what I want you to understand is that the body right now is actually more in charge of your results than what your mind is trying to achieve, what your business is trying to achieve, what other people are achieving. So what we've learned in our society is that we have never been trained to learn how to be embodied, to learn how to listen to the wisdom of our body. most of us are operating solely from up here. And while the mind is extremely important, vital, powerful, it's all the things we need it to be on board with everything we're doing and creating in the world. If we are now operating solely from that and strategy, it's not enough to actualize what we're here to do, because you're not just here to achieve goals and to manifest things. You are here to be an embodied individual, a spiritual being having this human experience. And when you are in touch with that, you also realize that your body is the temple, the container for which your soul resides. And your body over the course of your lifetime accumulates so many traumas, and we disconnect from it so regularly. Or in my work, I talk a lot about disassociating from our bodies, that we believe that what's happening like neck down doesn't matter when we are trying to generate and grow our businesses, when we're trying to scale. And I am seeing so many entrepreneurs and business owners, not only the ones that I'm working with, but also colleagues who are experiencing their bodies going through some kind of illness or some kind of, so many kinds of symptoms. There's a lot of trauma releasing. There's a lot of pains. There's a lot of things happening physically for people right now. And when I have tuned into this, because I've seen this coming up over and over again, I realized that our bodies, especially for those of you who've been doing a lot of work on yourselves for many years, you've been doing a lot of spiritual work, you've been doing a lot of internal work. It's like we've done a deep cleaning inside of our homes, and we've left the garbage bags by the door, but they haven't been let out of the house. And so that's what's happening physically for us. Our bodies want to purge and release a lot of the density, a lot of the heaviness, the traumas, the pain, the accumulation of a lifetime of things that have just been sitting in our cells, sitting in our organs, our tissues, sitting in the fascial tissue, which stores memory and emotions. And it's not allowing itself to purge and to release this energy. And whenever you work with the body, especially those of you who love working with spirit, with God's source, with energy, it's very hard and humbling when you can't manifest or actualize what you're working towards, when in the past it would happen very quickly or very efficiently, or it was very easy for you to be in flow. That when you're in this kind of season of working with your body and becoming more embodied, no longer being willing to compromise your body in the process of succeeding, okay, then it feels slow. Things feel slow because your body works with your nervous system, and your nervous system needs energy to process the traumas and to process all of the old stuff that your body's been carrying. And it doesn't happen fast, and it definitely doesn't happen at the speed in which most of our minds would like. So this is a huge block for a lot of people right now. And the truth is, and we've been seeing this a lot of people have been talking about the nervous system, regulation of the nervous system, dysregulation of the nervous system. And I want to speak to that for a moment, because for the most part, most of us, especially if we didn't grow up in a household where our families or our family of origin or the people who are our guardians or caretakers, caregivers growing up, knew about how to work with the body, knew how to work with regulating nervous system. Most of us grew up in a dysregulated nervous system state, because when we're living with other people, we're co-regulating. And so for a lot of us, no matter how successful or not you define yourself to be, okay, we're creating and operating from a dysregulated state. We're operating from survival mode, from fight or flight, freeze, faint, or fawn. And our nervous systems can only handle so much. So if you have not done a lot of embodiment work, if you have not gone in and started to heal the traumas in your body, if you are not listening, tuning in, or you don't have the tools to know how to process your emotions, how to feel, if it doesn't feel safe in your body to do those things, and you're operating likely from a dysregulated nervous system, you're not going to have the capacity and the energy to be able to really work on those visions and those goals that God, that source, your soul has planted within you. So we're in a very physical season right now, where the work is not just strategy and your mind and your mindset. Those things are important. They always are foundationally. We're working with so much more right now, and we're in a season of the body demanding from us, no longer requesting or asking, but demanding from each of us to say, body, you matter. And I'm not going to compromise you at the expense of having a 6-7-figure business or 8-figure business. I'm not going to compromise you for the sake of impacting millions. I'm going to listen to you first and always. And this is an ongoing practice that has to happen on a daily basis. But unfortunately, a lot of us are not equipped yet with those tools. And I'm seeing that this is the time to equip yourself with those tools, to start regulating your nervous system and start to release the trauma from your physical body. Because what happens on the other side of that? That ease, that feeling of spaciousness and lightness, that feeling of expansion starts to happen, because you're not in conflict with a body and a nervous system that is not on board with what you are doing. So this is a very, very, I would say, high level thing to start incorporating and to start thinking about in your work as a business owner and as an entrepreneur. Because our society has programmed us to never consider our bodies unless we were taught that. And for most business owners, this is why they hit burnout. This is why they have a lot of anxiety. This is why they are feeling defeated and discouraged at times. This is why a lot of people struggle, because they are forgetting that there's a whole level of wisdom happening neck down that needs your attention and your love every day. So if this is resonating for you, type in the comments 1. If you're noticing that this is happening for you right now, type in the comments 1, that you're experiencing symptoms and your body just feeling tired and lethargic and heavy. And it's been really hard to physically continue to move forward. It feels like you're pushing and you're forcing, you're trying to get your body on board, you know, to manifest your goals and your visions and to actualize them. Yeah, I'm seeing some 1s coming up here. So I just want to pause for a moment, and I want to just tune in here. And I'm sorry if it seems like I'm darting back and forth, guys. This is the first time I'm streaming Zoom to Facebook. And so I'm on Facebook and I have it on my laptop browser. So I'm trying to watch the comments here, and I'm watching Instagram here and trying to catch the things that a lot of you are sharing. So I'm hearing, wow, this totally makes sense. Yeah, it does, right? It's like things are getting more nuanced, guys. The more we advance in our consciousness collectively, it's not just about I do A and B and I get C. It's so much more than that, especially for those of you who know you're here to live and lead from higher consciousness. Okay, so I'm going to go on. If you guys have questions, type them in the chat and I'll take a peek at them before I sign off. But I don't want to be on here too long. Number 2, this is something that has been happening. I have been seeing for the last few years, predominantly since the pandemic started. And, you know, back in 2020, I took a sabbatical. I was guided to do that from my higher guidance. And I thought it was odd because this was the time when people needed help and assistance. And so I worked with the clients that I had, but I wasn't actively marketing. In fact, it was a season for me to download a methodology, a body of work that now I'm seeing is helping so many people and my clients to actually understand where the evolution of themselves and their business is in any given moment. And it's a very particular methodology, but it's also very simple and powerful. And this process is called the 3Gs. I don't have a better name for it at this point, but it's the 3Gs of your evolution as a soul and in the soul of your business. Okay, so let's just frame it that way. And you're in either one of 3 cycles or you're moving between them. And at some point I will have a graphic for you. So where a lot of people are finding themselves these days is not in generating, okay, which is where there's creative energy flowing and things are moving and it feels like you're becoming more visible and there's new ideas coming in. Some people are not finding themselves in growth as much, which is where things are scaling and you've actualized your visions and dreams and things are, they're just evolving. There's tons of opportunities. You're out in the world, you're visible, you're making your impact. No, where I'm finding most of my clients when they meet me initially, and then I help them move into generating and growth in my work, where most of them are meeting me right now is in gestation. Okay, so I just want you to sit with that energy of that word. And I'm going to actually take you through my document because I want to read to you what the general characteristics and the experiences are like. Because if you can identify with any of these things right now, and you are actively trying to manifest and work on achieving your goals and dreams, if you are in gestation, it's going to be very difficult for you to have those things unfold because you're in a specific cycle in your business and in your life right now, and you have to honor it. You cannot dismiss this. You cannot pretend it's not happening. You cannot avoid it. And every human goes through this. We can call them dark nights of the soul. We can call them the metamorphosis of like the butterfly going through its chrysalis and its pupa stage. I mean, there's so many different ways of describing this. A winter season, you know, where we're in gestation, things are happening below the surface on a much deeper level than what is apparent to our minds and to our eyes. So how do you know you are in gestation? Well, aspects of your life, your relationships and business don't feel aligned anymore and have become challenging and even problematic to deal with. You could be burnt out physically, mentally, emotionally, with little to no energy to put toward the things that used to inspire or excite you. So this is another sign of this. You could be experiencing a lot of inner and outer resistance, especially to surrendering and letting go. You think that if you just muscle through it, or you hustle more, you apply more of those strategies, you push, that things will just suddenly move forward. And instead, when you do that, you are met with more undesired results. You're getting more of the things that you do not want, okay? Sometimes some entrepreneurs and business owners see that money is decreasing, or the methods or the ways in which they brought their income in suddenly isn't working. It's starting to dry up. And effort made usually results in little to no ROI. That's return on investment in your time, energies, resources, or action taken. Starting to sound familiar, what we've been talking about, right? And what I have found a lot of people have been experiencing during this time is a lot of confusion, anxiety, inner conflict about their next steps. There's just a lot of uncertainty about the future. They may have these visions, but it feels like it's too overwhelming to even like move towards, and or there's just no desire to really do anything. And there's a lot of self-doubt about the path that you're currently on, questioning if you are making the right choices, questioning if you should continue on with your business even, or certain relationships. And in general, in gestation, a lot of people feel stuck and stagnant in one or multiple areas of their life and business, and things just aren't progressing. There's no progress, there's no manifestation. So a lot of people are going through gestation right now because, again, we are here operating at the pace of our soul, not the pace of our minds, folks. Okay. And the mind will say, I don't need to be in gestation. This is inconvenient for me right now, right? Like, I don't want to be in this gestational cycle in my business or with my finances or in my life or with myself. Like, I've got things to do. I've got a mission to fulfill. And here's the thing, your soul is in charge, especially if you are one of those individuals who's on a path of leading and living from higher consciousness. You cannot avoid this. It's a part of your evolution. And it's actually such a powerful, transformational, and pivotal time. Gestation is actually even more important than just generating a growth, because this is where the foundation and the seeds are planted for where you're moving next in your business, in your mission, in your purpose, in your life. And it's a place where your soul is offering you the opportunity to do the healing work, to do the introspection, to align your energies to where you're going, to reflect on the things that are no longer in alignment. This is an opportunity to create and wait for the new guidance and insight and ideas to come through before you start taking any action. In fact, it's such a powerful time, and it's so necessary, because this is where your realignment happens. So you may not believe that what you're working towards or what you're doing is misaligned, but your soul certainly does. And it has its own agenda. So your ego has its agenda. And part of your job during your gestation is to get your ego in alignment and working with your soul and working with your body, so that you don't have to go through long periods of gestation or dark nights of the soul or burnout or your body being exhausted, because you're always in tune with yourself. So this is why business cannot be done without spirituality, without your body, without your soul. And so the more that you understand where you are in these 3 Gs at any given moment, so you could be right in the thick of gestation, or you could be slowly traversing and heading over to generating. And then from generating, you could be slowly making your way to the top. I see it as like a pyramid to growth. And then in growth, you can't be there forever, right? You're going through an evolution. You're going to slowly come back down into gestation. So the gestational cycle is also really helpful and potent for you to do your embodiment work, your spiritual work, all the inner work, all the energetic work. It's a time for reevaluation and doing the foundational work on yourself. So is this making sense? If you're having a hard time right now manifesting your visions and your goals, if things feel slow, if things aren't happening at the speed you would like them to, type 2. Maybe you are in gestation right now, and I can help you determine if you are. I'm going to offer you something at the end of this video so we can determine what's happening for you specifically and come up with a game plan for you in that. Now, there's a list of things I could go on about here, guys, just so you know. There's more that I can share about gestation, but again, for, timing purposes, I just want to stay on track here. And so the last thing that I'm seeing happening for people who are having a hard time really manifesting and having their visions and dreams come true and actualize and manifest right now is because deep down in your subconscious part of yourself, which also includes your body, you have thoughts that are not in accordance or alignment with what it is that you want. And we know that like 80 to 90% of our lives are governed through the subconscious mind. And so if you have conflicting beliefs, stories, patterns, habits, fears, doubts, the list could go on. If you have conflicting programming in your subconscious mind that is not on board with what you want consciously, because remember, it's only like 10, 15%, 20% of what is actually creating your life and creating what you want in your business. If that subconscious part of you is not on board, then you're going to have problems. And for a lot of people, we say we want something, but subconsciously we've got a whole other thing going on. And this is the beauty about going into a gestation, right? Like you can work on those things. Now, I will say this, even if you're in generating or growth right now, and things are kind of moving, the two things that I've talked about, number one and now number three, the subconscious mind and subconscious blocks, and no longer being willing to compromise your body at the expense of your success and your manifestations. Like those two things constantly have to be a part of your growth, a part of your journey. You don't just focus on those things when you go in gestation, because gestational periods can happen for a few days. Sometimes they can happen for a few weeks or months. Sometimes they can happen for years, but you can also be in generating and growth for many months and, many years. So it has to be incorporated into your life as a being who's living from higher consciousness. It can't just be something that you do when you have the time or it's a nice to have. Your life and your business works so much better when you are actually fully in alignment, mind, body, soul. And that is the point of all of this work. That's the point of the work that I do with my clients. Because if you have subconscious blocks, or you're disassociating from your body because you have a dysregulated nervous system, you have a lot of trauma to process, you have a lot of things to let go of, it doesn't matter how much strategy you have. These things are going to continue to rub up and trigger and get in the way of you moving forward. And here's the truth about these things. It's not in the way. Your body is not blocking you from your success. Your subconscious mind is not trying to purposely punish you. It's actually on the way to where you want to go, because who you're becoming next, the rebirth that's going to happen on the other side of these kinds of cycles and this type of healing, you are going to be so much more ready, and you're going to have so much more capacity and energy and just inspiration and flow towards what you are here to do next. So we are always in this process. We are always going through this. So this is a real opportunity for you to look at and get clear on what is potentially happening here that may be stopping me from having what I want right now and manifesting those things and actualizing those things. Is my body trying to tell me something and I'm not listening? Is there some work that needs to be done on my health, on my well-being, on my energy, on my trauma, on the pains, the illnesses, the symptoms that I have, and I'm just kind of ignoring it and just trying to push through? Am I in a gestational season right now, whether it's been for a few days or weeks or months? And how can you utilize this time to your advantage? Number three, is there some kind of block that's happening? Maybe you've done a lot of mindset work. Maybe you tell yourself a lot of affirmations. And if you're not seeing those things really changing, then there's a clue there for you that there's something deeper going on below the surface that you need to pay attention to. And we don't know what we don't know. And it's very difficult for us to see our own blind spots, which is why having somebody like myself or a professional who's skilled in this type of work in your corner is so vital for the next level of where you're going, the next level in your money, the new opportunities that are going to come in, all the ease and flow, the joy, the fulfillment, the success, the lives you're going to impact, the money you'll make, all of it. I mean, it is all determined from where you are and how you are utilizing this time and this slower period of what's happening in your life, in your business, because it is all by design. It is not here to slow you down so that you cannot achieve and go after what it is that in your heart and soul you're here to do. It's here to help you in your evolution. And we just got to get our minds on board with that. So any questions or any comments? I know that there's a lot more that I could say. I know we're in some interesting transits astrologically. I know that there's a lot of stuff collectively happening. But these are the top three things that I see happening for individuals right now. So how can you make some changes around this? Well, you can sit with the questions I just posed, and that's a great opportunity to reflect. But if you are somebody who feels like you've been going through some of this, all the stuff that I've been talking about today, that you've been sitting in it for a long time, there can sometimes be resistance to even getting support, to even talking about it. I mean, I see a lot of people, there's a lot of shame around going through this, especially people who are established in their businesses. They have a lot of teams and staff. I see a lot of people feeling like confused in this and not really sure what the next step is. So I'm going to make this really simple and clear. If this feels like you want to dive more deeply into understanding where you are in the 3G cycle I talked about, you want to talk a little bit more about what's happening physically for you around your embodiment, you want to start working on, shifting those subconscious beliefs, let's have a reinvention strategy session together. One of my programs could help you, but more than anything, I have to know if or how I can support you and if what I do is best suited for you. And at the very least, you're going to get some clarity, super clarity around what's happening for you, and a very deep understanding of why you're going through what you're going through right now, and a game plan of how to move through that. This is complimentary. For those of you who are interested and you're like, I want to have a conversation about this, I want to talk to Vanessa about what's happening for me and what's going on for me in my business right now, my invitation for you is to DM me and say reinvention. That's it, just reinvention. And I'll send you a link and we'll get on a call. There's no pressure. There's no obligation to what happens from that conversation. I just want to genuinely support you because I know how discombobulating and how challenging going through this can be alone. And the only way I've gotten through these cycles myself is from hiring people who I know, like, and trust, and who are experts in helping me navigate through this. And I've been doing this for 14 and a half years, and I've worked with thousands of people. And I can certainly tell you that having support accelerates your ability to be on the other side of this. And I'm seeing my clients who have gone through gestation, many of them that came to me over the last year or so, now being in growth. I mean, I have clients in Hollywood who are now casting for major series and major film projects, that this was once a dream when we started working together. I am seeing clients who never thought that they would continue on as a business owner, and had some idea of what they wanted to create, now actually actualizing that at South by Southwest. I am seeing small businesses scale and grow where new employees are being brought on. I'm seeing people hitting income goals that they always dreamed of and never thought was possible, and more, so much more. And they all started in this gestational period. They've all started from this place of working on their embodiment and regulating their nervous systems and learning how to deal with their emotions in a healthy way. They've done the subconscious work and the energetic work, and now they're on the other side, and their fruits of their labor are flourishing, and they're so joyful. It's not a burden. It doesn't feel heavy to go to work or to work on their businesses, because they have so much alignment going on within themselves. So that's my invitation to you. Reach out. Let's have a chat. Let's explore if or how I can support you. Let's come up with a game plan and help you to understand where you are right now and what you're going through. And let's create some ease around this and some movement for you that I know is going to be beneficial. So if this video has helped you in some way, please share it. Let me know in the comments. Reach out and DM if you're shy and you don't want to say anything publicly. I've got you. I'm here. This is such an immensely powerful time that we're going through as human beings and as business owners and conscious human beings. So, know that you're not alone. And I'm grateful that you are all here. I'm still kind of navigating how to check comments and all of this as I'm going through this. So feel free to, share this with people that you love and care about, who you feel could really benefit from what I've talked about today. So thank you for staying here with me during this entire live cast, and I will see you soon. You're so welcome. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. I'm getting some lovely comments coming up here, and I'm going to come back into Facebook in just a wee bit. So have a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are in the world. Sending you all so much love, and we will chat soon. I'll be back again. Bye for now.